Good morning. It's Friday, June the 5th, and this is Wisdom for Your Week. What if you swallowed a big spoonful of something that started out tasting like this, honey, but ended up tasting like this, vinegar? That'd be quite a shock to your taste buds, wouldn't it? You might want to spit it out, but it would be too late. You might say, had I known what it was going to taste like in the end, I never would have swallowed it. That's the warning Solomon gives to his sons, and by extension to all of us. This part of the book of Proverbs is like that birds and bees talk that fathers often have with their sons. Solomon spent a fair amount of time in this book warning his sons about the danger of sexual immorality. It was like he knew what that temptation would be like for a young man. He knew how susceptible his sons would be to the seduction of an immoral woman, especially combined with their own sinful flesh. Here's what he says in Proverbs 5, verses 3 and 4. He said, "For the lips of an adulteress drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil, but in the end she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword." The message to all of us would be that adultery or sexual immorality of any kind might start out tasting sweet like honey, but it ends up as bitter as vinegar. And those who fall victim to it would say, had I known what it was going to be like in the end, I never would have started. Solomon even tells us how an adulteress works. It is by her words that are as sweet as honey and smooth as oil. Oil was something that brought comfort. It was a good thing in that day. Now, I'm just being honest here, but men are especially susceptible to a woman who tells them what they want to hear, sweet words and smooth words. And a man prodded by his own fleshly desires will swallow those words if he's not very careful. Here are the key words in these verses. But in the end. What starts out exciting and pleasurable and satisfying will end up leaving a bitter taste in your mouth. The words that start out smooth will end up being like a double-edged sword. They'll cut you to pieces. Solomon is saying this: if you could only see the end from the beginning, there would never be a beginning to adultery. So be careful when you hear those sweet words and smooth words. Watch out, because in the end, those words might be the end of you. And that's wisdom for your week.